Hey traders, Steve here from Jackrabbit Trader, and this week we're going to do something a little different. We're going to actually go through our trade alert ideas that we would normally send to our weekly subscribers of the Jackrabbit Report. So if you enjoy this video and you want to get more of these trade alerts every week in your inbox, you can visit www.jackrabbittrader.com/trade alerts, and I'll send these out every weekend. But thought we would go through this and basically what we do every weekend for our members and our subscribers is we scan through the market and we run our weekly trade setup scan, and you could see that here, and there's more information on that in our weekly trading process e-course, again at the website. But what we did this week was we returned 118 trades, and we've gone through those 118 potential trades and narrowed them down to about 10 or 12 trades, and I want to go through those with you now. So if we head on over to the charts, you'll see that there are times that the scan returns trades that really aren't setting up based on our process, right? We're just something that has been trending higher, but no real consolidation, no real setup, no real breakout. All right, but instead what we're looking for are trades that are consolidating and are breaking out, and one of those is AMAT this week. You can see that AMAT is in an uptrend and has recently consolidated. So what we do here is it's very simple. We just go back from the previous or the current candle, find the low, all right, the closing low, which right here is around 49.39, and then after that we continue further back, find the highs, all right. So that would be right around 52.57, and you can see that when we draw that resistance point, you can see there's a touch back here in July, two more touches here in September. All right, so that's a pretty good resistance or a pretty good top of the consolidation, but we don't really necessarily worry about that too much. We're more concerned with the support level, and that support level here is around 49.35. And again, if you continue it over to the left of the chart, when we look at these support and resistance areas, okay, you can see that they do line up across the time frames. And actually, I drew it a little off there, but here we are, right around 49.23. And you can see if we go back till December of 17, and then January through May of 18, that it's come down, hit support, bounced, come down, hit support, bounce. So this is a significant level in my opinion. So if you want to take this trade, we would be looking at a trade here entering at the market around 55.72. Our first stop level would be down here around 49, and our first profit target somewhere in the I would actually call them two. We would look at maybe a 59 would be a first target, and then a 61.50 being the second target. So make sure you size those positions accordingly. Again, more information on how to do that in our weekly trading process e-course, but that is our first potential trade setup for this week. Catapillar, all right, similar situation, right? We're going to find the first resistance level or support level, all right, and that's going to be right around this 117 area, and you can see how that 117 level holds pretty well here, and then we have a resistance up here around 143, but I'm actually looking at, again, if we just follow that what we had just talked about, coming back, found the support, back again, find the resistance, okay, and here is our consolidation, more of a V-shaped reversal. Now our first resistance level is going to be right around this 142 level, 142.50. All right, so not much room to the upside on this one, but then the next resistance, okay, again, just following back, finding these key inflection points on the chart, 157.50, and then all the way at 173. And the reason I bring this chart up to you is it looks like Caterpillar is actually breaking a downtrend. Okay, so that is why this one may have some legs to the upside. Let's see, cancel rate extension. All right, so you could see that there was a downtrend in play. All right, so if we flip it over, which you can do in Thinkorswim by typing in negative, you would see here that we actually had an uptrend, right? Again, the inverse of the chart is an uptrend. We're breaking below that. So therefore, if you go back to the regular Caterpillar symbol, here is that same, which is actually a downtrend. Key points were hit, and now here we are breaking above it. So this could be a great starter position. The first stop would be down here around 117. I probably wouldn't look to take anything off here, right? Very tight in the consolidation, or very tight profit window here, but more thinking of the bigger picture of maybe this is starting to revert and heading back up to say 157, 173, and this is your first key area. So if it stays over 117, I think you have a good trade there in Catapillar. CHRW, very similar to Catapillar. We have this downtrend in play that is now being broken. Okay, consolidation, larger consolidation here, not so much of the V-shaped reversal. And we could actually probably use this 8150 as a stop. Okay. So again, found the first support level, try and see where it lines up on other levels. And then resistance points, you have a 92, and then probably something around a 98. Okay, and again, the reason that this is on the list this week is not for the first target, but just the larger picture of this potentially rotating back up to the upside, and maybe eventually wants to test 98, maybe even $100. As you can see here, a couple different points there. So a couple resistance points above. Just watch earnings on these. This one has it on the 29th, it looks like. So just be careful of that. Copart, all right. This one we sent an alert out to members a couple weeks ago on this breakout. It hasn't really done much since, but it is setting up a new breakout level, and you can use a couple different points here. I'd probably look at this 72.50 as a new stop level. Okay, so 79.50. All right, and this is how we would actually trade this if we were long. We're actually not, as you can see here. All of my positions are listed up here when we're looking at the charts, but we would be trailing a stop, looking at a new breakout, very small breakout, but to new highs, really nothing, no targets or anything above. So that one you would just let run as long as it can. EMN, okay, similar situation to the last few. Depending on how you draw this, but potentially this reversion back to the highs. All right, and we're looking at a stop right around 71, maybe. I would give them a little room, and we go over what I do again in the weekly trading process e-course. So definitely check that out. It's www.jackrabbittrader.com/weekly process. And it's my 14-day free e-course on exactly how I trade and my process. But looking at EMN, again, breaking that downtrend line, stop would be right around that $70, $71, maybe $70.50. First target, or first resistance, which I wouldn't necessarily say is a target, is right around $78.50. But realistically, I think you can maybe get up to 84 if this thing really wants to run. Again, looking at the bigger picture of a break of a downtrend line and a reversion back to the highs. And then realistically, if we can get past 84, your next stop or your next target should be 95. You can see this big downtrend here, and I'm sure if we look at the daily, there's probably plenty of gaps, or maybe one giant gap. Actually, not too much. But that's what we're looking at in EMN. Hilton, all right, Hilton I'm long. Again, you can see that here. But Hilton, we've been in for a while. Looking at a potential pullback trade from a few weeks ago is where we added to a position. But realistically, what I'm looking at now in Hilton is this break of consolidation. Okay, so here is the stop, 90.42. All right, first target up here around $100, and then who knows where it goes from there. But again, I wanted to just reiterate, these are pullbacks and potentially have some legs to make it back to the tops of these larger consolidations And I love when a stock pulls back, holds a resistance or a support level, and then breaks out. And that's exactly what Hilton did this week. I believe they had earnings this week. Illinois Tool Works. Again, this was one that we issued a few weeks ago, back early in September. But another chance to get in this. You can see that it pushed right up into these resistance levels that we had, this 170, 90. All right, so again, if you were long from 159 when we last sent out an alert, then you probably should be looking to take half off. And the next stop would be 179. But I wanted to put this one in here so you guys understand what the process is, right? This was a stock that we said we wanted to get long at 159. It unfortunately didn't work right away, pulled back to 145. Then rallied, had some good earnings this week, hit our first stop level. At that point, we'd be taking half off, and then going up, looking to see if it can get to 179, maybe taking the other half, or taking what was a quarter of the original position and leaving a quarter on to see if it can break to new highs. But again, wouldn't necessarily look to start a position here, but this is, when a trade works, this is what it looks like. LRCX, get back to our typical trading pattern. So you have an uptrend in play. We're going to follow, again, the stock back. We're going to find a low. Okay, so that low is actually right here at 228. Okay, and then we're going to go back, find the highs. So this is a very, very tight consolidation. And actually, I would probably use the wicks of the candles here as a reference. But again, the resistance in a consolidation, once you're breaking out, it doesn't really matter in my opinion. Some traders will take it and use the top of the consolidation as their first stop level. I size my position accordingly, very small positions, and it's actually 225. I thought that's a 228. But if it stays over 225, then I want to be long this name, and you can see how that 225 level, again, if we extend it to the left, it lines up with previous resistance. So previous resistance becomes new support. Here's your breakout. See how it goes. LUV. Okay, so here we have, again, go back, find the lows. Okay, then we'll find the highs. Okay, so there's your closing consolidation, right? You're using closing prices. Okay, here's your support level, and then first resistance is going to be right around this 58 level, but you can see we're still in a downtrend, right? We haven't broken this larger downtrend, so your next support level is going to be trend line, and if you can break above trend line, then maybe you can go to 63.92 or 64, and then maybe 66. All right, but this one again is a little bit different than the others, where it hasn't broken the downtrend line like Catapillar and Copart or Copart. So just be careful with this one if you're going to take it. Again, 58.26 would be my first resistance and first target, and then I would look to take more off at trend line. NSC, all right, this is an example of a pullback trade. Okay, so you can see here that the stock has an uptrend. Stock pulled back, okay, consolidated above that trend line. And here we are now putting in a consolidation and support level at 69. And my first target would be right back up to the highs around 205. You might see a little resistance here at the previous support level of 194, but ultimately target would be 205 for me. And one other thing, like I said, if you go back, you can see that these resistance levels, right, usually line up, especially on the weekly chart. And that's why I love trading the weekly chart. It just seems to me so much clearer than if you looked at a daily chart, right? There's a lot going on here, a lot more candles. And then we really want to find those key levels. And that's one of the reasons I love trading the weekly chart, is you can see those key levels right here, very clear as day. And you can see resistance, 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 finally broke above it. And let's see, does it stay above it and go, or does it want to come back under it? And maybe it's a failed breakout, but ultimately, as long as it stays over 169, then I would want to be long that name. And last but not least, Raytheon. And this is one that I've traded in the past, and I've actually, I can actually show you what my trades were. Okay, so we got in at here at 189, got out at 194. All right, on this a little bit of a drawdown, and there's reasons for that. Again, I go over those reasons in the weekly trading process e-course. But here we are now with a new potential setup in Raytheon, which is using this previous resistance level, 191.36, as the new stop for this trade. And you can see that it's broken out. It's above this resistance at 207. So my next stop level, or my next target level, would be up here at 228. So stop at 191, target 228, and see what happens after that. But this was a trade that I originally initiated on the idea of what we just talked about in Catapillar and one of the other ones. I think it was, nope, it wasn't Copart, it was EMN. Okay, but with the idea that it's broken a downtrend, popped up, you're not necessarily looking for it to get to the first target, the immediate resistance level. You're looking for it to get to the first target, which is the 207, and it didn't do it. And that was part of the reason that I took out some of that money, because I was feeling that it should have made its way a little higher, but you had this ugly weekly candle. Then the market started rolling over, and I wanted to take some small profits, which I did. Left some money on the table, but now here we are looking at potentially getting back into it at 212 and seeing if we can run to 228. So those are the trade alerts for this week. Again, if you guys enjoy this, you can definitely head on over to jackrabbittrader.com/trade alerts, and you'll be put on the email list. And this is sent out every week to members. And again, if you enjoy it and you're watching it on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, notification bell, leave a comment, and let me know what you think. Other than that, we'll talk to you next week. Take care, guys.